Hi, I'm a Sand Recap, and this is a movie to get, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. The movie begins with a scene from the past in the quantum realm. Janet Van Dyne encounters two creatures that launch an attack on her. She manages to eliminate one of them, but the other one pounces on her. Just as it is about to harm her, an unidentified individual swiftly eliminates the threat by blasting its head off. Janet then notices another man who seems to have arrived in the realm alongside her, possibly after crash landing. In the current timeline, Scott Lang is relishing in his recently acquired fame and recognition, thanks to his crucial role in assisting the Avengers in defeating the formidable Thanos. Simultaneously, Hope Van Dyne has assumed control of her father Hank's business and has been leveraging the potential of PIM particles to advance her research, with the intention of benefiting the world at large. Scott has even managed to publish a highly successful book recounting his remarkable adventures. However, his prolonged entrapment in the quantum realm has resulted in a considerable separation from his daughter Cassie. Scott receives a phone call while he's in jail and meets up with Hope at the same location. It turns out that Cassie, Scott's daughter, has been arrested for participating in a protest. Ever since the events of the blip, Cassie has developed an interest in scientific pursuits and has even started collaborating with Hope and Hank. Later, Scott and Cassie join the Pym family for a dinner gathering at their home. During the meal, Hank unintentionally reveals that Cassie has been arrested on multiple occasions. Cassie highlights the various projects they have been working on, such as Hank's ant farm populated by intelligent ants and her own invention, a device capable of sending signals to the quantum realm, with the added ability to receive signals from the outside world as well. This revelation causes Janet to panic, prompting her to deactivate the device. However, before she can clarify her actions, the device unexpectedly reactivates and begins pulling everything and everyone present towards it. Scott takes a leap and follows Cassie into the quantum realm, utilizing his Ant-Man suit to shield and safeguard her during their descent. Meanwhile, Hope dons her Wasp suit to rescue her parents. The Pym family assembles, with Janet working diligently to prevent their detection. Eventually, they are discovered by the inhabitants of the realm, leading Janet to engage in a brief skirmish with one of them. Surprisingly, Janet and the creature share a jovial moment, reminiscing like long-lost companions. Subsequently, she manages to secure transportation for her family atop a colossal flying creature. The Lang family encounters a diverse array of quantum realm inhabitants, ranging from human-like individuals to peculiar alien beings. To facilitate communication, Scott and Cassie are required to consume a crimson liquid known as ooze, extracted from a creature named Veb, which grants them the ability to comprehend the natives' language. They are soon greeted by another resident named 𝐒𝐲𝐧𝐨𝐩𝐬, who possesses the power to read minds. Additionally, they encounter Jentorra, a rebellious warrior who harbors suspicions that the arrival of the Langs and Pyms will attract the attention of a figure referred to as the Conqueror. Jentorra's wariness intensifies when Scott mentions Janet's name, further fueling her doubts. Janet guides Hank and Hope to a bustling bar filled with various denizens of the quantum realm. They rendezvous with a man known as Lord Krylar, someone Janet developed a friendship with during her prolonged entrapment in that realm. While Janet seeks Krylar's assistance, he discloses that he is now aligned with Kang, the aforementioned Conqueror. Krylar also hints at the existence of Kang's ultimate weapon, a mechanized organism designed only for killing, MODOK. Suddenly, Kang's minions arrive, intent on apprehending the Pym family. However, the Pyms put up a fierce fight, successfully resisting their captors. Hank employs one of his enlarging discs to transform a squid-like creature into a colossal entity, using it to seize and fling Krylar around. Seizing the opportunity, the family commandeers Krylar's vessel and makes their daring escape. The rebel group soon finds themselves under siege by Kang's forces, just before the formidable MODOK makes his entrance. MODOK commences the vaporization of several freedom fighters, instigating chaos and panic. Amidst the turmoil, Cassie unveils her own supersuit, which enables her to shrink and grow in size, revealing her secret contribution to the cause. MODOK, personally targeting Scott and Cassie, discloses his true identity as Darren Cross, who miraculously survived his encounter with Scott during their subatomic clash. The incident resulted in Cross's body being disfigured, leaving him with a colossal head, diminutive limbs, and an elongated face. Furthermore, Cross reveals that he orchestrated the signal that Cassie responded to. MODOK subsequently seizes Scott and Cassie, taking them into the presence of Kang. While making their escape, Janet finally confesses the truth to Hank and Hope about her experiences in the quantum realm. She reveals that upon encountering Kang, He had deceived her, posing as a fellow traveler in need of assistance. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 manipulated Janet, convincing her that by helping him power his ship, he would ensure her safe return to Hope. However, upon discovering the ship's core, Janet realized that 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's vessel relied on his own thoughts as a power source. When she touched the core, she gained a glimpse into 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's mind, bearing witness to the countless atrocities he had committed, including the annihilation of entire planets and the destruction of timelines. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 attempted to sway Janet by offering to alter time so that she never missed out on witnessing Hope's childhood. Nevertheless, Janet recognized the immense suffering this would cause to other worlds under 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's reign. Acknowledging 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's true monstrous nature, Janet employed her wasp suit to pilfer the core and enlarged it to an enormous size, preventing both herself and 𝐒𝐲𝐬 from escaping and thwarting his malevolent plans. Scott and Cassie have an encounter with 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬, who proudly boasts about eliminating various Avengers in different timelines. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 then demands Scott's assistance in retrieving his core, using the threat of harming Cassie and subjecting Scott to an eternal loop of reliving that moment as leverage. Reluctantly, Scott agrees to 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's demands but makes it clear that he will seek revenge if any harm comes to Cassie. Scott is lowered into the location where the core is kept, but he becomes entangled in what motivational refers to as a probability storm, resulting in numerous versions of Scott appearing simultaneously. Meanwhile, the Pyms happen to fly nearby, and Hope detects Scott's presence. As she descends to offer assistance, she finds herself surrounded by her own versions created by the probability storm. However, Scott's multiple versions prove beneficial since they share the common goal of rescuing Cassie. With Hope's assistance, they successfully shrink down the core by working together. As Hope and Janet join forces to support Scott after acquiring the core, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 unexpectedly arrives, breaking his promise to release Cassie and attempting to seize the core from Scott. In a treacherous turn of events, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 captures Janet and commands motivational to obliterate the ship with Hank still aboard. When Janet condemns 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 as a monster, he reveals that he is the exiled one among his numerous variants, blaming them for the multitude of horrors witnessed across the multiverse. 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 believes that by escaping the quantum realm, he can gain dominion over an imminent event that poses a threat to humanity. The ants from Hank's ant farm arrive, having undergone a time displacement that remarkably accelerated their advancement compared to the humans. They assist Hank in escorting Scott and Hope towards 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's stronghold. In the meantime, Cassie utilizes her suit's shrinking abilities to infiltrate a prison and liberate Jentorra and other rebel fighters, urging them to rally together and storm 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's tower. Just as 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 prepares to deliver a grandiose villainous speech, Cassie seizes the moment and takes over, rallying everyone to unite and confront 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 in his own lair. The freed rebels engage in combat against 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's henchmen, defending their cause. motivational, intent on targeting Cassie, becomes the target of her colossal form, as she transforms into a giant and delivers a powerful punch to subdue him. Before departing, Cassie attempts to convince motivational that he doesn't have to persist in his evil ways, appealing to his potential for change. Enraged, Scott grows to an enormous size and charges towards 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬, fueled by the latter's betrayal of their agreement. Reunited with Cassie, Scott is proud to see her also transformed into a colossal form. Hank leads the ants and operates a gigantic mecha, leading the charge towards 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's tower. As 𝐒𝐲𝐬 launches an assault on the rebels, motivational, who has now switched sides, launches his own attack. Choosing to perish as Darren, he embraces his fate, and the heroes stand by his side as he meets his end. Inside the tower, the heroes progress, guided by Janet, who has repaired 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's core and created a portal for their return home. Scott urges Cassie to pass through the portal just as 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 initiates an attack on Scott. Engaged in a fierce and brutal confrontation, 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 nearly overpowers Scott, subjecting him to severe punishment. In a desperate act of bravery, Hope jumps back into the fray to assist Scott. Together, they overpower 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 and employ multiple growing and shrinking discs to destroy the core. Hope propels 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬 towards the core, which drags him into an abyssal portal. Cassie skillfully reopens the portal, enabling Scott and Hope to return home, while the quantum natives rejoice, celebrating their triumphant victory. Scott reintegrates into his normal life and reunites with his family, although he remains concerned about 𝐒𝐲𝐬𝐬's ominous warning regarding an impending catastrophe. However, he dismisses it as insignificant and joins his family in commemorating a belated birthday celebration for Cassie, making up for the missed occasions during the blip. Meanwhile, a council comprised of various 𝐒𝐲𝐬 variants convenes, discussing the demise of the Exiled One, and preparing to dispatch each variant across the multiverse in anticipation of an impending major conflict. In a different setting, Another iteration of Kong, known as Victor Timely, is observed teaching a class in the early 19th century. Among the students are none other than Loki and Agent Mobius. Loki cryptically informs Mobius that this particular individual will pose a grave and formidable threat in the future.